To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Main Gate Magic. I am your host, Mr. Jason Braden. How's everybody doing out there in the Disney universe today? Come on, let's hear it.
Good.
We're good.
Good. Okay, great. I'm like, yes, I am talking to those who are listening, but I mean, you guys are the only ones that can verbally answer, so I was kind of just directing it at you. But
Magical.
anyway, yeah, I know. Imagine that is a great word for this show. Obviously, baby, it's good to
Yes.
see you on the show. How are you doing
Yes.
today?
I'm good.
Yeah, work good
you know,
today.
Work was awesome. I had
And
to
why
walk
was work awesome?
because I had to walk 12 feet from my bed to go to work.
That's right.
Yay!
Lisa has officially started her telework again, so we are now both working from home. So we are one
Yes.
big happy family once again.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
Now she does have to go into the office on Fridays, but it's just one day a week.
One
And
day
you're
a
off the
week.
phones this week too, so
Yes.
woohoo!
Yay.
Yay, I know. And Leia, how the heck have you been?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Lots of every day's a gift. So
Every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Kung Fu Panda. Oh boy, that's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is, I think I actually still have that in my email signature line whenever I
Yes.
send stuff out from my
Oh.
oldest email. But I
Mhm.
have like the full line in there. It's yesterday is the in the past, tomorrow is what
The
is it?
future.
Wait, Jason, I got this.
You got it?
Oh.
Come on,
Okay.
pull it together for me.
Maybe I should just quit and go back to making noodles. Quit. Don't quit. Noodles. Don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There is a saying. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why they call it the present.
Wow. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Yeah, we definitely have to give a round of applause for that one. That was, you nailed it. It's just too bad that that's not a Disney movie. 'Cause
I
we
know.
could
So perfect.
we could have a whole episode on DreamWorks films. That would be incredible. Actually, it wouldn't be just one episode. That'd be a series of episodes.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, let's go ahead and say hello to some people in the chat. We got some familiar faces this evening. Mr. Odie Braden, my father, your real #1 fan is here. Okay, that's fair enough, Dad. I appreciate that. Love you very much, and I'm glad that you are a dedicated fan. And of course, our other #1 fan, I have to say, is Miss Patricia Gillum. Hello, Patricia. It's nice
Hi,
to see you.
Patricia.
Hi, Odie. Hi, Patricia.
And Patricia says, "Congrats, Lisa," because that's a big
yes.
accomplishment. I mean, because even though you only work like a block and a half from here, or your office is a block and a half from here, that's
Mhm.
still something big. It's just
It
so
is.
much weight lifted off. It is.
It is.
And your sister, Leanne. Hello, Leanne. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. And I'm sorry if I missed you last week. I think you
Lisa.
said hello, but I think I missed it. So I apologize. Bad brother-in-law. Bad brother-in-law. Bad brother-in-law. So, for lack of a better topic for our evening, I went back to the Disney Renaissance because I myself have been quite busy. I worked all weekend to start my new project management job with my 9 to 5 job, my 9 to 5, my career job. And it's been crazy. There's been a lot of stuff happening, and I was even very busy on Monday. Today was not as bad because I think I kind of like got all the hard stuff out of the way on Monday. So today I could sort of
Mm-hmm.
just kick back a little bit and just send some emails here and there. Um, for those of you who are listening from work, that was a lie. I was actually working my butt off today as well. I was not slacking at all. Um, but anyway, because of that, I feel like I've been kind of neglecting my thoughts on this show, unfortunately, and I just had to kind of pull this one out of the hat again because I still have notes on it and I didn't have to do any work to prepare for it.
Right, right.
But anyway, for those who are listening or have watched the episode that we did, the first part of the Disney Renaissance era, these were all films from starting in 1989 to 1999, all done by Disney, and they're all animated films. There was a total of 10 movies, almost one every year, but I think there was a skip year somewhere in there. We've got 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, there was a gap. And funny enough, that's where we kind of left off. In 1992 was the movie Aladdin, and that's what we left off with on the last episode. And I swear that's a movie we're probably going to have to just do an entire episode on because there's just so much in Aladdin. And baby, I think you've probably seen that one a lot too, haven't you?
Yeah. No, I don't know about a lot, but I've seen it more often than others. Yes.
Which one? Okay, so out of all the Disney Renaissance movies, we just so you know, the ones that we've discussed so far, because I think you were out of the last one, unfortunately.
Yeah. I
But
was
we had
not
the Little
still alive.
Mermaid, we had the Little
Mhm.
Mermaid, the Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. Those were the only ones that we actually got through. Out of all those, which ones
Yeah.
do you think you've watched the most?
The Little Mermaid, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Leia, what about you?
Of those ones, oh man, I would say almost a landslide Aladdin.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that
Okay.
one so many times. Yeah,
I feel like I've watched them kind of all almost all equally, but it's hard to tell because I think I've listened to the soundtrack more than I've actually seen the movies.
really?
So yeah,
Oh,
because I listened to the soundtrack to remember the songs and to sing the songs and stuff like that, but haven't always listened to the songs just by watching the movie. I've just, had them on a playlist of something or other,
Mhm.
like, when they came out, it was probably a CD that I had and played it in my car all the time, or when digital stuff started coming out for our phones, it was a Disney playlist on my phone. So if you guys in the chat have any of those movies that you have seen more often than one another, you let me know as well and tell me if it's the same as ours, if it's different. We're going to get to other movies in just a minute, but I'd be kind of curious to know who else has seen one of those movies more than the others. I have a feeling The Little Mermaid is going to be kind of the most popular one myself, but I think it's only because it's kind of like the one that kicked off the Renaissance era. That was like one of the first great
Yeah.
movies that Disney started
yeah.
producing for that decade. But anyway, I digress. We are going to go next. We skip a year, 1992, skipped over 1993, and then in 1994, we have The Lion King. Now, that is another fantastic movie, of course. These are all fantastic movies. I still
Mhm.
like some more than others, and we will get to that in a moment as well, because we were kind of talking about this a little before the show. But 1994, actors are James Earl Jones, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And James Earl Jones, obviously the voice of Mufasa. May he rest in peace, both
Mhm.
Mufasa
Yes.
and James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who I believe was the child star of Home Improvement at the time.
Mhm.
He was
Yep.
one of I think he
The
was the
son.
youngest son, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, that was a great show. And he played the young Simba.
Oh,
So he was the
cool.
voice of young Simba, but I don't know if he actually did the singing voice of young Simba. That's one thing that I did not look up, and we'd have to figure that one out. Usually not, though. Most of the time, the actors are not the people who do the songs.
Right.
A lot of times, yeah, it's not the same person.
Right. I mean, we're going to be getting to this one eventually because it's the next in our list, but Pocahontas, right? I mean, Irene Bedard
Yeah.
did the voice, just the speaking lines for Pocahontas, but the songs were done by.
Judy Kuhn.
Thank you. See, I
Yep.
knew you'd know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I got my Pocahontas expert here.
You know, it's cool though. Mel Gibson, he sang as John Smith. He was speaking and singing. So
No kidding. He actually did the songs for that?
yeah, yeah,
Oh wow. That's awesome. I didn't even know he could sing.
yeah, really
Now
good.
Hugh Jackman, I know he can sing,
Yes.
but I don't think he's ever
Mhm.
sung anything for Disney before. Was The Greatest Showman a Disney movie?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
But I know he could sing even before that. Anyway, off topic here. Matthew Broderick was another one of the actors in The Lion King. And I know we're kind of going over this stuff. We've done an episode of The Lion King. It was, or actually, wait, now that I think about it, I did an episode about The Lion King. I think that was
By
my first
yourself?
solo
Ah.
episode on Main Gate Magic.
Oh,
Yeah, so I spent an hour talking about not just, The Lion King, but I threw in some news here and there and everything. And, but yeah, I made it work somehow. I talked it out. So Matthew Broderick played the adult voice of Simba.
yep.
Matthew Broderick, of course, Ferris Bueller from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was also in War Games, in the Godzilla movie, and tons and tons of other movies that I am not remembering right now.
The
But
original, well, the Project X that came out in the late 80s, not the one that came out more
yeah,
recently.
yeah, the one that came out more recently, I think, was about a big party. But the one that he was in was about chimpanzees that would be able to fly.
Fly.
No way.
During,
I think I've heard it, seen the VHS, but I never saw the movie.
It's a good
Yeah.
one. It's a really good one, and he does really well in it. He kind of takes over for somebody who ended up losing their job at this air base where they were teaching chimps how to fly. But what he didn't realize later on was that they were learning how to fly after being exposed to radiation because they wanted to see if pilots, when they are flying airplanes, if a nuclear blast goes off and they get irradiated, how well can they fly after the fact?
Right.
So
Oh,
it's
like animal testing.
yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but it's a good story. It's got a good ending and a very good message too. So if you guys
I'll
haven't
watch
seen it,
that.
check out Project X, the old Project X from the 80s, I think, right?
I
Was
think
it
it's
from the
late
80s?
80s, very early 90s, one of those.
Yeah, but a very decent movie. Jeremy Irons, of course, the voice of Scar, was a very, very good
Awesome.
villain. And see, okay, now that we're talking about villains, because we kind of left off talking about the villain in Aladdin on the live action versus the animated one,
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job with this particular movie doing a new version of Scar, because I think it was somebody different in this one, in the live action. Now, Jeremy Irons, he's got the voice, he's got the chops,
Oh yeah.
and he's got that very, he's kind of got like the British tone in his voice, just like
Right.
James Earl Jones and everything.
So good.
And it's good because obviously James Earl Jones was Mufasa, and they were brothers, and of course we were talking about the Mufasa movie that's coming out. I think is it next month? I think it's in December.
Coming out really soon. Was James Earl Jones able to voice it?
I don't know. That is a
Yeah.
very good question. But you know what? I'm on IMDb right now. And let's see. The stars, it doesn't look like it. I don't see
Okay.
him in the credits.
Jason,
I'm
as
just
you're
doing-
looking, I have a fun fact. So Jeremy
yeah?
Irons, he was supposed to sing Be Prepared, but he had like a really bad cold or something, and he couldn't sing or talk for weeks. And
Yep.
they called in Jim Cummings to be the song. He sang Be Prepared.
Yeah, you're right. Jim Cummings did come in, but I think it was, if the story that I heard actually was he came in for a part of it. Like he had something, like something was going on with his vocal cords because of, how sick he was or whatever had happened to it. But I thought that he only sang like a part of it, not like the whole song. But let me see if that's actually
Oh, I
in
thought he
here.
sang the whole song. Okay, see?
Yeah.
I
have to
saw
go
only
back
a
and
short
fact
little
check
fun
that
fact
sometime.
on it, so
Yeah. But no, that is correct. I mean, Jim Cummings actually did sing either the whole thing or at least a part of "Be Prepared," but I'm pretty sure it is just sort of like near the end of the song. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's kind of a mixture of the two, which makes it even, to me at least, more interesting because of the fact that when you're listening to the song in the original animated movie, you can't tell the
Mhm.
difference.
You can't
Right.
tell, no. That's really
Yeah,
impressive. Even more
it is
so,
very
yeah.
impressive. Absolutely. So anyway, I was trying to find out. What was I trying to find out? The Lion King, who played Scar in the live action remake. Now, that was the
Star did
one.
look really cool in the live action remake. I thought they did a really good job making him
I,
look like a real lion, but dark at the same time.
yeah, definitely. He had almost kind of. I'm looking at pictures now. He had kind of like a little bit of almost like a mohawk mane going on there, or something like that. But um, Chitwell, Chiwetel. I'm butchering this guy's name. I'm sorry. Ejiofor is the guy who played the voice
Mm,
of Scar. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
no idea.
Here, let's go ahead and, for those who are actually watching stuff right now, I will present and share my screen, as long as I share the right one. This is the gentleman right here on my screen. I know you guys have seen this guy before.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he
He's
looks
been in a,
kind of familiar.
yeah, let's see like his accolades here because he's done, I know he's done several. 12 Years a Slave, an amazing movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
Um,
one.
oh, apparently he's in Venom: The Last Dance. I didn't know that. That's a movie that hasn't even come out yet, but I swear I feel like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's where I saw him. He was the guy. He was the bad guy in that. I think actually he was the one that was, or one of the bad guys anyway, or was he one of the guys from where Doctor Strange learned his magic? That might be what I'm thinking of. But anyway, he's the voice of Scar in the live action movie. So anyway, back to
Okay.
the show. Moira Kelly did the voice of Nala. She is Simba's love interest. Although when they're kids, you have what's his name? Oh my gosh, what's the name of the guy who played Zazu, the British
Oh, Rowan
comedian?
Atkinson, Mr.
Rowan
Bean.
Atkinson,
I
yeah.
love that man.
And of course, he's telling, young Simba and Nala that they're betrothed. They're going to eventually get married, and their kids are like, ew.
Well, sorry to burst your bubble.
Right, yeah. Sorry to bust your bubble.
Yeah.
I love Zazu. The parts that he has in I Can't Wait to Be King is hilarious because he kind of does like little speaking roles throughout the song. And
Yeah, and
and
he's
it's
just
sort of,
not being listened to.
yeah, exactly. Nobody's listening. He's getting stomped on by all the animals that are singing and dancing around him. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, and
Moira
then
Kelly, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this movie, but I was watching the movie with a friend one time and she was like, whose voice is she? And then we found out it was the Lion King and she's like, that's who it is. The Cutting Edge. It's a 80s rom-com. She played the ice skating girl who was like
oh,
really ornery,
baby,
but
who was
soft
that?
with
You know
him.
that movie, right?
I don't know it that like that, but
Oh,
yes, I know
okay.
it's an 80s movie and it is about ice skating and
Mhm.
Yeah,
ice skating competition. And they
Yep.
right.
remade it. And I started to watch the remake last week. And I was like,
Oh,
I was like, I'm good.
the first is so good. I could see them not being successful at capturing how good it was the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I remember that one. Didn't it have DB Sweeney in it or something like that?
Yes. Oh, he was so cute in that movie. Yeah.
Oh, I know, huh?
Yeah. Heartthrob. Yeah.
Heartthrob. That's the general list of characters. We also have the hyenas that were played by Whoopi Goldberg and Cheech Marin, and actually, we're gonna go back and talk about another character that Jim Cummings played was Ed,
Yep.
the one that's always like, the crazy one that doesn't even have any speaking lines.
Yeah.
Right.
He just kind of looks stupid throughout the whole thing. But I mean, what a fun role to play, just sitting there and laughing into the microphone and be like, "Did you get that? Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good,
right.
Jim. You know. Patricia says I first saw him in Serenity, the Firefly movie. That I'm
Oh, okay.
guessing DB Sweeney. Is that who we were talking about? Still, or who are we talking about? Who was in Firefly? Because I have never seen Firefly. I apologize.
I don't even know that one. Or is she talking about Scar, the new actor that played Scar?
Oh, Chitwell.
Yeah.
Let me see. Serenity. Here we go. Nathan Fillion is the guy who plays in that. And I know that if my cousin Adam is listening to this, he's probably just shaking his head, going like, "Why haven't you seen this
Right.
before?" She's talking about Chitwell. I think that's how you pronounce his name, but or Chutel. Somebody tell me how that's pronounced,
Just
please. Put it in the
apologize.
chat.
Just apologize that you to the man, because you never
Yes,
know.
I already said I apologize because I know I'm butchering his name. So I sincerely apologize because God forbid if I ever get him on the show, this is going to be embarrassing.
Look him up on Wikipedia. It tells you how to pronounce the name there.
Does it really?
Oh, no
Yeah.
way. That's
Oh,
cool.
okay. I will do
Well,
that. Hold on a
usually
second.
it does.
Oh, okay. Hold on, folks, while I GTS.
Hopefully this is usually case. Yeah.
Let's see. Is he on Wiki? He is on Wiki. There he is. Whoa. Chuatel Ejiofor. Chuatel. Chuatel. That's how you pronounce his name. Chuatel. It's Chooetel. And the E is kind of like one of those backwards E's, so that's I think. Chuatel.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. Okay. Or Chuetel. Maybe? Chuetel? I'm just going to stop.
You would tell.
I'm going to stop and I'm going to keep apologizing. Okay. I think that's the majority of the big actors in the movie. And then, of course, the songs are freaking amazing. Can't Wait to Be King. Very fun, very exciting, and also Be Prepared. We talked about that with Jim Cummings doing the part of Scar in at least a portion of the song. And then, Hakuna Matata. We can't forget about Hakuna Matata. What a
and then
wonderful
Can You Feel the
phrase. Oh, and Can You Feel the Love? That's right.
Right.
Yeah. So many things to tell her. Yeah, that's right. Good song. But I think that's it, right? Just those four?
Yeah.
Circle
I
of
feel
Life.
like there should be more.
Oh,
the Circle of Life, of course.
Yes.
Wow. I'm such a Disney goof right now because, that's like the first one that opens up. And that's one of the, and I think I actually talked about this during the episode that we had that I did where we were talking about the opening. It actually like choked me up when I saw it because it's so grand, and you got the king and the queen, so to speak, showing the prince up on Pride Rock to all the animals, and they're bowing, and there's like all this love and respect. And, later the lions are going to go and eat them. So, Circle of Life.
Circle of Life, yeah. And I think that's one of those movies where I think Hans Zimmer was the composer, not for the music with words, but for like the instrumental. I thought that movie had equally beautiful instrumental music. Like the part where the rain comes flooding in and you see Rafiki paint Simba. And it's like, do, 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 do. Like so pretty.
Time. Yeah, that was really good. Baby, you were going to say something too.
I was going to say, when we were in Vegas that one of the times, sorry.
Right.
And we went to go see Lion King. It was playing at one of the hotels there. It was an amazing show to see it live right there. Yeah, it was great.
The play is really good. And the role of Rafiki is actually played by a woman who actually comes on stage and she sings the Circle of Life in the beginning. She even does the that thing.
Easy, baba.
Yeah. I know there's been so many like parodies done on that and everything. It's like have some pizza.
Yeah. I've seen one where they go, I'm eating ramen here in my pajamas. I'm hungry.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Good Lion King talk. we're going to go on to the next one. I know one of your very favorites that we have kind of hinted at here and there. Speaking of Irene Bedard, Pocahontas in 1995. Now, I know I can just feel the joy coming off of you right now. What makes this movie so special for you? Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh. I can still remember. Okay, so we had a Thanksgiving dinner set out and we watched The Lion King in the living room. And the commercial that came on before The Lion King was Pocahontas singing Colors of the Wind.
Oh,
And I
yes.
was more obsessed with that commercial than I was with The Lion King. And I saw it in the grocery store soon after, and I like begged my mom for it. And I was just always outside barefoot, running through the yard and like talking to animals. And when I saw Pocahontas, I was like, oh my God, you're like my soul. And I just loved how Pocahontas was a free spirit and she was like, she was so keen to bringing people together and she didn't see color. She was just like, be loving towards everything, have a respect for each, even the rocks place, the animals. And
Mhm.
Hmm.
I just think it's interesting. I actually don't think story wise it's one of the most fluid. Like it's a little broken up, but the message within I think is it's one of the best. So beautiful.
So now I can totally
Yeah.
see how you like it because that does kind of fit your personality so much.
It
And I
does.
can see you outside running around in your bare feet and everything. I can totally picture that in my head.
Yeah.
All right. So cast of characters, we talked about Mel Gibson. You mentioned him earlier that he actually did the vocals for the song as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And then Linda Hunt. I'm not sure if anybody remembers who she is.
Oh, Grandmother
She
Willow.
Yes, and she's been in a lot of things here and there. She was in the movie Dune back in the day, and she was also in the movie Silverado. Maybe do you recall who she is in Silverado? She was the bartender at
Oh
the.
yeah.
So she had to walk up the little platform because she's short and everything.
Right.
She's
She
so
wanted to be the
Yeah,
cute.
same size as the customers.
right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So she played Mother Willow. And then we also, of course, have Irene Bedard playing the voice of Pocahontas. And totally forgot about this, but Christian Bale played the voice of Thomas in that
Yep.
movie. And I'm wondering if that was one of his earlier works because I don't know of other things that he was in before that.
I think it was one
Um,
of his earliest, like he had done Little Women and then he did Thomas
that was
for
it, huh?
Pocahontas. Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I'm on his IMDb right now, and he actually did do a few other things before that too. He was
Oh, did
actually in
it?
Empire of the Sun. He was
Oh.
in Anastasia, the Mystery of Anna. It was a TV miniseries. Those
Mm.
are two TV miniseries. Henry V, Treasure Island. He was in Newsies. I think I did know that at one point, even though I've only seen that movie like one time.
I saw
He
that
was
one.
in Swing Kids, Royal Deceit, Little Women, like you said, and then Pocahontas. And then after that,
Mm.
just blew up, I think. It seems like after
Okay.
that, it was just everything was like live action. I don't know if it doesn't look like he did any other animated stuff after that from what I'm seeing. But it's okay. All right. Who else was in the. Okay, now he's uncredited, but this guy is in, I swear, every freaking Disney movie ever. But
Jim
Jim
Cummings.
Cummings as Powhatan. Does that sound right?
Powhatan.
Powhatan.
He sang and yeah.
Yeah, it says singing voice, uncredited though. I guess he didn't make the credits at the end, unfortunately.
He shut up. He sang a really beautiful song, but it was so short in the beginning of the movie.
Now, also speaking of great voice actors, and this guy is a little bit different because I think he's just mostly known for doing animals. Frank Weller, you know that voice, that name?
Was he Jason Radcliffe and Wiggins?
I don't know.
Oh,
What is that?
it's really interesting because the bad guy in the movie Radcliffe, I watched like a documentary while you watch the movie. The voice just credits thoughts and Radcliffe had like a little guy that helped him that had such a different kind of feminine voice, and it was the same voiceover actor. And I was like, oh my goodness, is he talented?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same guy. This is Frank Weller right here, and these are
Oh,
the some of
okay.
the characters he's played. He's just an animated voice basically, but I know that he also
Wow.
did the voice of Abu, I think, from Aladdin. He kind of has a way of like making squeaking noises and stuff. Oh, he was the voice of the Cave of Wonders in Aladdin. Look at this right here.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like I'm gonna do this, but it's gonna wreck my voice. Disturbs my slumber. He's that guy.
Jason, that's so
So
good.
it hurts though to do something like that, and I don't know how he does it, but
Yeah.
that is not easy to do. But he's very talented. Now, tell me, his character in this one was called Flit. Was that the hummingbird?
Oh, he was Split. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the hummingbird. Was he
So
Miko
all
also, or?
let's see. Did Miko didn't have any speaking. None of the animals had speaking roles, right?
No, yeah, they just made little chirpy noises and stuff.
No. Miko was done by a gentleman by the name of John Kasser.
Oh, okay.
Kassir, and he looks like he's another voice actor. Oh my God, he's the voice of the Crypt Keeper? Yeah. And he was the voice of Elliot from the remake of Pete's Dragon, too. So he's got some other
Mm.
animal voices under his belt there, obviously. Huh. That is crazy. I can't believe like how people like switch from one role to the other. Like, oh yeah, you've done animal voices before. We gotta come over here. Tell us how you can do it.
Right.
Yeah,
Tell us what you think a raccoon would sound like.
yeah. Speaking of voiceover acting, there's something kind of interesting with Pocahontas. So her friend, and the name escapes me. I think her friend's name is Nakoma. Forget.
Pocahontas's friend.
Yeah, Nakoma.
There is a Nakoma that was played by Michelle St. John.
Okay, I got the name right. So this was really interesting. Michelle was supposed to be the voice of Pocahontas, and like when you hear her friend speak, it is so close to Pocahontas. She was supposed to get the job, but then they heard Irene's voice and they said, Irene, just a touch above Michelle, brings more wisdom. She has like this, like, just this almost like otherworldly sound to it. So they gave her the role of being the friend though. So I kind of thought for Michelle, I was like, oh my God, if I was Michelle, I'd be kind of sad. I'd be like, I was this close to being
This close,
Pocahontas.
yeah.
But no,
Do
I
you
mean,
know
what
if
an honor to still be in the movie.
is she also like Native American?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I know that Irene Bedard, she is part Alaskan, like Inuit,
Inuit.
and
Yeah, I think I heard you say that
a
once
Native
before. Yeah.
American.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michelle St. John was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. She is an actress and producer known for Pocahontas, Every Emotion Costs, and well, it really doesn't say much. This is just on IMDb, but I'm sure if I went to
Mhm.
like Wikipedia, it would probably show me everything about her, including her heritage. But we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
What other characters do you remember? Oh, Billy Connolly is a person I identify with. He's the voice of Ben in the show. He has a very thick, like I think Scottish accent, or is it
Oh,
more
that
British?
guy. Ah, your
Yeah,
singing must have scared them off.
yeah, that
Yeah,
guy. Yeah. See, I knew as soon as I said that it'd probably ring a bell.
Mhm.
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
what what character is Ben? Is he one of the guys from the ship or something?
Yeah, they're these I don't know which one he would have been. Okay, he would have been the guy with the dark hair. They don't really have names, but he's like somebody who
Ah,
really looks up to John Smith, and they kind of help John sometimes. Um, but smaller characters.
yeah. Now you're gonna have to help me with the songs because the only one that I actually remember is "Colors of the Wind," which is
Mm.
a song that I know all the lyrics to, but I know nothing about any of the other songs. What other songs are there in that movie?
Oh, so beautiful. Okay, so in the beginning, I thought it was so smart. It starts off with like colonial music, and it's like in 1607 we sailed the open seas, and
That
it
sounds
sounds,
familiar.
and then it goes on to John Smith, he's like, I've seen hundreds of other lands. How is this one different? And they have this very like attributed honorable like Native American song where they're singing about growing their corn and all this stuff. And then Pocahontas has Just Around the River Bend. That's a very famous one.
Of course, I remember that. Now, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that's right. That's another song that I know.
Yeah. And it's one of the most like Disney pivotal songs because she stops at this bend in the water and her dad told her go the easy way of the river. And like there's this wide visual river and then she takes the tiny narrow path and says, do you still wait for me, dream giver? Like she's like, I don't want to marry this Native American guy who's just like strong and sturdy but boring. And yeah.
Powerful
and
message.
Then, love it so much. There and then
did
there's
your
Radcliffe.
homework.
Then there's Radcliffe. He sings mine, mine, mine. He's all greedy about the gold, but he's gonna kill people to get to it. Like,
now he's the antagonist of the movie, right?
yeah, very much. Very
Right.
bad.
Okay. Yeah. See, the one that's kind of like a big dude wears was he wearing like a purple sort of outfit with a funny looking pilgrim hat or whatever? Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Movies that I should rewatch again, part 197. I don't know. It is a huge list. I have to put it. Yeah, I know. I have to put it on the list with the ones that are like, you know, people are like, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" I'm like, "No, I haven't seen that." You haven't seen that movie? Like, no, I don't. I haven't seen every single movie in the world, despite how much
existed. Yeah.
Yeah, but
no, I feel the same way when people say that. It's like I have a life, you know. Like I want to get to him, but like, yeah. Well, I have one more cool thing about the Pocahontas.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So this is really cool. So the people who were casting for the voices, they had Irene Bedard as Pocahontas, and they had already had Judy Kuhn, which is the singing voice of Pocahontas. They had her separately from Irene Bedard sing the music for Colors of the Wind because they loved her voice. They thought it brought justice to the song, but they said, oh, we can't use you because you probably don't sound like Irene Bedard. They just were just like, we're just going to have you sing it as a demo. And then they played her voice and then they played them side by side and they're like, hold the phone. Do these two sound like each other? And they said it was like serendipitous. They're like, oh my God, we get to keep you. So
wow. So maybe I'm not sure if you'd actually know who she is, but I'm just going to let you know because I know you used to watch Law and Order. She's apparently been on several episodes of Law and Order, and she's been on Law and Order Criminal Intent, Law and Order Special Victims Unit. So I don't know. Does that name sound familiar? You think you may have seen that in credits somewhere?
I doubt, because every week there's a different actor or actress that has done many projects that are just like well-known people.
Yeah.
So I would not be able to pick her out, but
sounds a lot like when we watch Grey's Anatomy, how they just kind of like drop a person that's been in a lot of stuff in there and like, oh, I know that person. I've seen them in this show.
Yeah. You'll remember somebody from like the 80s or
right.
the 90s. It's like, oh, where have they been, you know?
The interesting thing that I'm seeing in here, though, is that she is mostly a live action actress. She has done singing voices for Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New World. Did you ever see that one, Leia?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think most of the Disney sequels like that are pretty... But they're not... Yeah. I can't say that they're all terrible.
That one is video.
Right. Yeah. Directly to VHS, it was crazy because, it's like all of a sudden you see this on the shelf and you're like, wait, where did this come from? But she was the singing voice for the sequel, apparently. Some sing-alongs for Pocahontas stuff, obviously. And apparently she was also the singing voice for Princess Ting Ting in Mulan 2, which I have never seen.
Okay. That one is really cute. That one is worth a watch.
You saw Mulan 2?
Yeah. Mulan's another top fave. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking if we... go ahead.
Princess, that's the Disney princess that our daughter associates with the most.
Yeah. And I was going to say, if we ever do a show about Mulan, we should really bring her on. Like maybe for a Chinese New Year, we'll do an episode about Mulan or something like that.
Oh.
And we can have her on. So she might like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. Do you think Jessica would actually come on the show and talk about that kind of stuff?
Um, I think if we pushed her, she would.
I
I
mean,
mean,
she
my
could do it
goodness.
from home. I know she doesn't
I
live
was gonna
close
say
anymore,
she
but
gets up in front of like sometimes 100 or more people to sing with her band. So why couldn't she be on this?
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I know because here
So
it's like about 96 less than that.
right.
So why not, right? It's just like having a conversation in a living room, really. So,
It really
Mm-hmm.
is.
but I swear, the next time that we do an episode about a specific movie, we all have to do our homework. We have to watch the movie the night before or something like that to make sure that
Agreed.
we're yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff about the movies like Pocahontas. I haven't seen that probably in over 20 years, maybe even
Probably,
longer.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, I liked it. I remember liking it. I just, it's more of a princess movie, and it didn't like have the same kind of action as the other ones, and I guess that was what kind of like took me away from it. But I think I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that I have a different chromosome. That's all.
You might be surprised actually, like at the end they sing a song called Savages and it's very war like.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does have like it's one of the darker Disney movies actually start story-wise. Yeah.
Mulan kind of gets like that too, doesn't it? Because
Mhm.
there's a song that I remember that I'll make a man out of you. I know it's a very popular song in the Disney universe, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's kind of like a double entendre too, because Mulan is a woman trying to fight in a war with a bunch of men. So it's like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna pull off that magic trick?
Yeah, exactly.
um, Now I think we can probably kind of transition over to the next movie because we don't have a lot of time left, but we also don't
I
have a lot
know.
of knowledge on this next one. So we switched from 1995 over to 1996 for The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, I have no knowledge about this movie at all, and I think we were talking about it before the show began. You guys are pretty much in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
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 The
Now,
beginning is gorgeous though. It's one of my favorite Disney songs,
yes.
ironically. Like, oh, it's pretty.
And Quasimodo is a great character. He's a great protagonist, and
Yeah.
I think John Cusack is the one who plays his voice in that, and they did a really good job of
Mm.
casting it. And the villain in it is a villain by the name of Frollo, and if I remember correctly, was the scariest looking guy in a Disney movie that I had seen in a while. I mean, next to
Bad guy.
Jafar, yeah, bad guy, definitely bad guy.
Yeah,
He's bad,
definitely.
and that's not good.
Yeah.
For those who know Wreck-It Ralph, that's kind of what I'm pulling from. But anyway, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm bad, but that's good.
Yeah.
um, that's a show we could talk about. There are
Oh
so
my
many
gosh.
Easter eggs. Oh my gosh, you know what? I need to write that down somewhere. Here, hold on a second. Wreck-It Ralph. We got to put that as a possible show topic for the Wreck-It
Aw, come
Ralph.
on, Ralph, you son of a gun.
I'm from the candy tree department. All right. So yeah, but definitely I hear people like when I go to Disney conventions and I hear people just talking about Disney villains in general. Even I think on the maybe the trivia show we watched, the Disney Jeopardy,
Mm-hmm.
he mentions that Frollo is one of like the nastiest looking villains and the scariest ones and just
Yeah.
super super evil. And I can't remember why he's the antagonist in this. I forget why. I think he just wants to destroy Quasimodo because he's a monster, but he's got a kind heart. So I'm just guessing, and I'm sure there's a lot of
He's one
people
of the
like,
most evil bad guys. I remember that. I saw the movie like 3 years ago, and he like wants to burn a gypsy at the stake because he actually is
mm,
creepy and wants to like honestly that was a little more risky of a Disney movie. It was very clear he wanted to like
is he kind of a
be with
perv?
her. The huge perv, and because she turns him down, he like puts her on a stake to burn her, and
Ah.
he like is murderous, and he's equally as evil as he looks.
And I remember her like being kind to Quasimodo because she's one of those
Yeah,
people that doesn't really see people like for how they look. It's more of like what's inside of them kind of a thing. And I know that's probably like what
yeah.
the general message of the movie is. And since we're talking about her, she was played by Demi Moore. I think that her
Oh,
character has some songs that she sings in there as well, but I'm really not familiar with any of the songs except, like you said, the opening song, which I don't even remember the name of that one either.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Disney hosts. Yeah, and
Yeah, Esmeralda sang God Help the Outcast.
yeah, and you know what? I was wrong about who played Quasimodo. It was a gentleman by the name of Tom Hulce, Hulce. So who was I thinking that had who did I say was playing that? It was
John Cusack?
yeah, who was he in
He was in
Anastasia? That's what I'm
Oh,
thinking of. Is
Dimitri.
Anastasia?
Yeah, that's who
Yes,
he was. Yeah.
that's who I was thinking of. Yeah. Okay. I got my movie straightened out. Jason Alexander, the guy from Seinfeld, he played George Costanza. He was Hugo. I think that was one of the
Gargoyles.
gargoyles. Yeah, the gargoyles were alive, and they were Quasimodo's friends up in the top of Notre Dame. Yeah.
Or whatever you call that.
Tony J. Yeah, Belfries I think is a good place, but I don't know. Do they have bells up there? Oh, look at Dad. He's saying that toured Notre Dame Cathedral in '67 was so impressed.
Ooh.
I can only imagine. I feel like somebody told me even recently, within the last couple of years, they're still doing construction on that ever since the fires. Is that right?
I was going to say, I just heard it last week that it's been 5 years and they're still doing construction.
Holy cow. I wonder how long it took to make it in the first place. It had been longer than 5 years, wouldn't you think?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I would think so. It's enormous. Yeah.
Sad, though. But, I mean, it's nice that they're actually taking the time to restore it and that they can actually do it. But I'm just wondering, maybe it's taking longer because they've had to pause it. I mean, they were doing the restoration of it when COVID hit. So I'm sure they probably had to stop for a long period of time because of that.
Yeah,
I guess.
probably.
So, because that was everywhere. And then I said Tony J was the voice of Frollo. He's the bad guy we were talking about. I'm not sure of his accolades, but good bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Kline was the voice of a character named Phoebus. I don't know.
Oh,
who that
he's the
was.
romantic interest of Esmeralda.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I like Kevin Kline. I don't know of any other Disney movies that he's been in, but I remember him in several other movies that I've enjoyed. This is kind of like a bit of a controversy, but I liked Wild Wild West.
Me too.
He was in A Fish Called Wanda. He was in that movie. Was it Coming Out or Stepping Out or something like that? In and Out. Yeah, about the guy that he's like, no, I'm not gay, and it turns out that he actually is gay at the end. Spoiler alert, people. But so it was a great movie, and just a good actor. I mean,
who was he in Wild Wild West? Which actor?
Oh, he was
Gordon.
Oh, was he Gordon? Who was the other? It was Will Smith and him. But I forget which one was. Oh, West was yeah, it was James Gordon. Yeah, it was James.
Oh, cool.
I think that was his first name, something Gordon. But yeah, he was the one that was like the inventor that knew how to build all the little trinkets hiding in your sleeve, and he was always in disguise, dressed as a woman or a lumberjack or
a trapper.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Dad says it took 200 years to build the cathedral.
Wow.
Yeah, so 5 years to restore it is a drop in the barrel compared to how long it took to build that place. That's crazy.
Oh.
And yeah,
and
Dad.
Don't forget he was also in Silverado.
That's right. He was in Silverado, another wonderful movie. He says he's a font of useless trivia. You know what? That is actually more useful trivia than the stuff that we know in our heads, because the stuff that we know in our heads is a lot of useless trivia about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. But, that's why people always think, you haven't seen that movie?
I know.
But anyway.
And that's that's like my email name, Movie Freak. But that's
right.
As far as we're going to say. But yeah.
Because it is a family show, yeah.
No, I'm talking about I'm not giving out my full email address.
No, I know. There's more to, I got you.
Yeah,
I understand.
and so it's like anybody that I've actually emailed with that always comes back with, "What's your favorite movie?" And
Well,
it's
and
like
that's
you can't
yeah.
you can't ask that. That's
Is it
not a
what's your
fair
favorite movie,
question.
or is it what's your favorite scary
No,
movie, Lisa?
not scary movie. It's always, "What's your favorite movie?" And then I tell them, "You can't do that. You have to give me a genre, and then I will answer your question."
But if I ask you the question, who was the killer in Friday the 13th, your answer is
Jason's mom.
yes. See, that's what. Everybody, this is one of the reasons why I married this wonderful woman here is because we actually have the same taste in horror movies.
Yeah,
Mostly the same taste in horror movies. So
yeah.
yes, we talked about horror movies in a Disney podcast. Sorry, kids. Sorry, not sorry.
Close your ears.
I know, right? Well, we kept it clean. We kept it clean.
Yeah.
Um, we are almost out of time.
Nuh-uh, for real? Oh
For
my
real, we
gosh.
have
That
like
was
8 minutes to go. I know. And the next movie is a good one, which I actually have seen quite a few times, is Hercules. And
so.
yes, yeah, who put the glad in Gladiator, right? Hercules.
Hercules.
Yeah,
Is he
that
sweet?
is, yeah. No one's sweeter. Oh no, is it?
Our
Is he
favorite
sweet?
flavor?
Our favorite
Hercules.
flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song alone is so amazing. The the
Oh
the
my gosh.
muses when they do their songs, the muses are phenomenal. It's
We are the muses. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, proclaimers of truth. Yeah, exactly. And
So
so,
good.
baby, how much of Hercules do you remember?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, I think you would
Not
actually
really.
like it. It's got some phenomenal music in it.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
a good story. Tate
Hilarious
Donovan.
Very,
cast. Danny
Oh yes.
DeVito, James Woods.
Yep.
Yeah.
What were you gonna
I
say?
was very busy in the 90s. I was a mom to a very young child, so
Yes.
Mm.
I
Yes,
didn't get a
definitely.
lot of time to sit down and watch the Disney movies with her.
Yeah. But I didn't think I actually realized how much I liked Hercules until I was a little bit older.
Mm.
When I first saw it, it was like, oh, that was good. But then I rewatched it and I'm like, wait, why did I just think it was good? This is an amazing movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got comedy, it's got romance, it's got sacrifice, it's got
Heart.
gods, it's got demons and villains and
Yeah.
mythological creatures. It's got a Pegasus, it's got a Hydra, it's got all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Um, so let me run through the cast of characters and see if we can knock this one out. We might have to pick up where we left off when we do this
Yeah,
again for
that one
part
needs at
3.
least 20 minutes to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were saying it has a great cast of characters, so let's go ahead and kick that off. So we had Tate Donovan, who played the voice of Hercules, and I actually got a chance to meet him and his co-star Susan Egan, who played the voice
Oh my goodness.
of Megara,
Megara.
right? Meg for short.
And
At
she was a
the
singing voice for Meg. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and I actually do still see her on social media singing every once in a while too.
Mhm.
So, because she does the song "That's Ancient
I won't say
History,"
I'm in love.
been there, done. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I won't say I was singing it to try to remember the title, but it was taking a little too long to come to me.
Mhm.
That happens when you get older, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Jason, no, sorry, that's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm going back too far. Um, let's see, James Woods as the
Mhm.
voice of Hades, who was such a great villain in that.
One of
Now,
my favorites. Yeah.
yeah, his character looks scary. Blue, and he's like tall and skinny,
Sharp
and
teeth.
yeah, sharp teeth, and he's got like blue flaming hair, and he's got like these long, like spindly looking fingers that are really pointy at the end and
Yeah.
everything. But as a voice actor, not as intimidating until he starts losing his temper, which happens a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
And he screams. He's just like, ah!
Yeah, I love how irritable he is. Like he's like
Yeah,
just very short-tempered.
yeah.
We
I am.
know. I know. You know. I
I
got the
know
point.
you know.
Concept. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, what's that on your feet? He's like, I kind of thought they looked dashing on me.
I've got 24 hours to get rid of this bozo.
Right.
You were wearing his merchandise. Yeah.
Yep. So, great villain, and he gets kind of not really tricked at the end, but he thinks he's making a deal that's going to benefit him, but he ends up getting screwed, which is usually what
That
happens
part
to the bad guy
terrified
at
me when
the
I was
end.
little.
It was a
The
little creepy because it's
river of
fought
death.
in it's fought in hell, basically, in Hades, I mean that's
Yeah.
in the river of Styx and everything, all the old mythological, things about, like traveling down the river and giving the ferryman a
Yeah.
coin, to get there and all that. So, but yeah, Meg loses her soul to Hades, and Hercules sacrifices himself, and he ends up
Yeah.
restoring his godhood. But then at the end, he learns he's in love with Meg, and he'd rather live a mortal life with her than be a god up on Mount
Forever.
Olympus. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great story. It's a fantastic
Beautiful.
story.
And who's Zeus? He was in Men in Black. He was
Yes.
Zed. That
Yeah, he
I forgot.
plays Z. That's
Rip
Rip Torn. Rip
Rip
Torn.
Torn. Yeah, he played
Yes.
such a good Zeus voice.
Yeah, and he has played quite a diverse role of characters over the years, but he is also kind of a unique guy, and I don't think he's with us any longer. I think he passed
No,
away.
he has.
He did.
But I remember him the very first. Okay, actually, baby, I'm going to ask you, what's the very first role you remember him in?
Beastmaster.
And that is another reason why I love this woman, ladies and gentlemen, because that is the exact same movie that I was thinking of. He was the antagonist in that one too.
Yes, he was.
And he played. Do you remember the name of his character? Did it start with a Z as well? Was it Zed, or was that the name of one of the good guys?
Zed was the king. He was the father of Beastmaster.
Okay, that's
no,
right.
he played. His name had X in it. I can't remember.
Did
now.
it? Oh yeah, I don't remember. But he was scary in that one. He was very creepy
Yeah.
looking.
Oh.
Yes.
Had an ugly haircut and everything, and I swear I think they gave him like a prosthetic nose that made it look more hooked, and it was just really blech.
I've never seen him play a bad guy before. That would be interesting.
Oh yeah. And he's been a voice actor and I think a few other things here and there. And I remember him, of course, also in Summer Rental. He played the pirate Sully. Or
Yes.
Scully. Yeah. John Candy's character had a sail, and he
Oh,
also
John Candy.
was he was in the movie Dodgeball, another one of my guilty favorites. That was a fantastic movie.
Necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine?
Is it necessary for close your ears, kids? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No.
Nope.
But it's sterile and I like the taste.
I do it anyways. Yeah. I love that part. Oh my gosh, before
that's a whole other show right there, folks.
Yeah, Hercules. One of the best voiceover actor characters is Danny DeVito.
Oh yeah, Philocles, I think is what his full name is, or something like that. Or
Oh, is it?
Philocles, yeah.
Oh, Philocles, yep.
Yeah, he's the one that trains Hercules and teaches him to go from zero to hero. Another fantastic song. And played by Mr. Danny DeVito, who is he's a woman chaser in this movie. He's always chasing the dames. He and Pegasus sort of have a love-hate relationship in the beginning until they meet Meg, and then Meg is the new love-hate relationship between her and Pegasus. But yeah, he's got a great voice. And then of course the oh my god, I gotta look it up. Bobcat Goldthwait is one of the minions. Yes, hands up. Yes, it's 7:00.
Rip Torn.
Oh,
character name in Beastmaster was Mayax.
Mayats.
Oh.
I would not have remembered that. Did you look it up?
Yeah, I had to look it up, but
Okay.
I told you there was an X in the name.
Oh,
and
Mayax.
I knew that.
Okay.
Mayax.
Mayax, like may I ask you a question? Okay, yeah, got it.
Not exactly that, but
but anyway, I'm going to talk about the minions really quick, and then we're going to call it a day because we're actually out of time. Okay, you got me thrown off with Mayax now. Okay, what was I talking? Oh, Bobcat Goldthwait was one of the characters. There was Pain and Havoc. They were the two minions of Hades.
It's so funny.
I don't know. I need to look up who played the other one because together they were very hilarious. They were like I would say that they were the comic relief. But there was so much comedy in that movie already. Yeah. It's hard to say like what the comic relief of the comedy was. Yeah. If that even makes any sense.
You mean if he gets out, if
right.
Yeah.
Why do I know that name? It's like, maybe we owe him money? Let's
It's a
see.
very
Havoc.
popular name.
Let's see. Yeah, remember all back in the day when everybody was being called George or Brittany? um, let's see. Okay, so Bobcat Goldthwait. Oh, Panic was Matt Frewer. And I know that name. Oh my gosh, that's the guy who played Max Headroom. I didn't know that that was his voice.
Who's
Oh, wow.
Max Headroom?
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
age thing. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Max. Yeah, well, okay. Have you ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so he was the next door neighbor's dad.
Ooh, okay.
Mhm.
So I know Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves More. I don't remember the first
Oh,
one.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's another person that's been in a ton of movies, and those are the ones that I remember him from the most. But yeah, he was the
Okay.
one that played Havoc, and Payne was Bobcat Goldthwait. A phenomenal pair. So we're gonna have to wrap it up on that, folks. But
Yes.
that was
So fun.
what did we cover? We covered, let's see, one, two, we got four of them in there. There's actually only two more to go. Mulan and one of my absolute favorites that ended the Renaissance, which was Tarzan. That
Um,
is one movie that I could talk about all night because it was so well done. Great
yeah.
music, great cast, phenomenal animation, a lot of computer stuff used in it as well as 2D. So we'll have to save that one for another time. But before we go, I wanted to let you all know out there in the universe, whoever may be listening to this and lives in the Bay Area or might be visiting the Bay Area, if you want to come and see me in person, I will actually be appearing at a store called Bricks and Minifigs in San Ramon, California, this Saturday starting at 11 o'clock. I met somebody at a convention recently, gave her my story about my voice acting and my podcasting, and she's like, "Would you be interested in coming to my store to help promote, my business and maybe promote yourself as well?" And I'm like, "I would love to." So I gave her a stack of business cards so she could start telling all of her customers that this guy is going to be here. And the funny thing is that I think she said either her son or her daughter, I think it was her daughter, is actually going to Cal High, which is in San Ramon and also the same school that I graduated from in high school.
Mhm.
So she's like,
Oh.
"Oh my gosh, you're a Cal High alum?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of high school myself. I kind of transitioned from SoCal to Northern California, and it was a bit rough for me back in the day. I eventually adjusted. I did graduate, but I was not a fan. But it was a good school. Had some great teachers, and I did meet some friends there that were pretty loyal. So if you guys are in San Ramon, it's called Bricks and Minifigs in San Ramon. You can look it up on Google or Maps or whatever on your phone at 11 a.m. And I should be there for at least 2 or 3 hours, maybe longer, if there's enough people showing interest in the podcast and anything else that I may have to talk about. So come on by and see us and check out, I think it's bricksandminifigs.com. It's
Yes.
actually a subsidiary of Lego.
It
They
is.
buy, sell, and trade Legos from people who
Yes.
want to just give up their sets and say, "I'm done with this, let somebody else buy it." So an amazing concept. And I never even knew it existed until just a few weeks ago when I was at that convention in Concord. So check it out online. Go to a store. This is not the only store that exists. I think there are other ones. It's a franchise.
It
So
is
you
a
can
franchise. Yep.
yep, you
That's
can
so
get one of your
exciting,
own if you
Jason.
wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So come on out and see me and build some Legos while you're at it. It'll be a good time. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Tuesday. In the meantime, if you want to find out anything about Main Gate Magic, see us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We are on every place you can think of. Just look for the blue Main Gate Magic logo, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Podcast Network. Thanks for listening. Love you guys all. Love you, my co-hosts. You guys are awesome as always, and we will be
Yes.
seeing everybody next Tuesday. Take care.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye-bye.